all of you to this, what I'll consider a very important inauguration, which is the inauguration of the Task Force Against Human Trafficking. I say it is very important because we have, as a government, decided to put together a pan-society team, a team that cuts across every aspect of our society to decisively take action on the issue of trafficking and slavery. I am not going to spend a lot of time talking to you about the scourge of trafficking, human trafficking, and the crisis we face as a society and as a people. But clearly, we cannot, as Edo people, afford to be stigmatized and taunted anymore on the issue of trafficking. It's like trafficking is now synonymous with Edo State, and it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And as a government, we have decided to take the bull by the horn and take action ourselves. I received a letter from NAPTIP, which I thought was really annoying, telling me that what we were trying to do was unnecessary, that there was a federal organ or agency in place, that there's a federal law on anti-trafficking, and therefore we should adopt it and work with that. If all of those worked, why do we have a crisis? In Abuja, maybe Abuja does not understand the issue of trafficking the way we do. That is because it's a social scourge for us, apart from the humiliation. So for us in Edo State, we have decided to work through the constitutional provision to deal with this matter ourselves. It's not on the exclusive list. It's concurrent. So we will, with this committee, domesticate the national law on human trafficking, and we will prosecute. We'll have special courts in this town to prosecute. And even if federal government officials are involved, we will prosecute them, because we cannot accept this disgrace anymore. So today, we decided to set up this committee with very clear terms of reference. First, we want to have a comprehensive action plan to combat and eradicate human trafficking in persons in Edo State. We expect that we will establish and promote continued contact and cooperation between Edo State, federal government agencies, and international agencies that are connected with the issue of human trafficking. Such, like I said, this contact which we will establish would involve international entities that can aid us in combating this crisis at the other end, on the demand end. And we expect to cooperate and work with institutions like the International Office on Migration, IOM, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes, UNODC, the EU, and the embassies of particularly those receiving countries. Locally, in terms of the municipal government entities that we have called to be part of this effort, will be the Ministry of Interior, the National Immigration Service, the Department of State Security, the Nigerian Police Force, and the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. We are also involving organizations in Edo State that are actively engaged in combating human trafficking. We are also involving our traditional institutions, and we expect that the Palace of the Omonobanedo, Kwapolopolo, will also send us representatives to serve on this committee. We're also involving civil society organizations, which will include some social clubs and religious organizations, like represented here, and also individuals who have done work, proven work in the issue of human trafficking. We expect that you will actively promote continued awareness through different programs to highlight and also to widely disseminate the evils of trafficking in persons, and such that this information will permeate all areas of our state through all media, electronic, social, print, and also ensure that we have town hall meetings and include pronouncements by prominent people in our society. You will ensure that we promote and enforce the rule of law and to combat trafficking in persons through investigation, and we will emphasize investigation and intelligence. That intelligence gathering, the arrest and prosecution, if we have to. If it's a suggestion that we have special courts, then we will do what is necessary to have those special courts to prosecute those persons involved in human trafficking. We expect that you will also help draft and promote the enactment of a law in Edo State that complements national legislation on trafficking in persons. We expect you to promote and collaborate with all relevant entities that support the sustainable rehabilitation of trafficked victims back into society. And we also expect that we will ensure, or you will ensure, that you come up with plans and programs to ensure that persons who have been trafficked are not stigmatized, and we have clear plans for their reabsorption as full members of our society. The full list, like I said, of the persons will, and institutions will be, read out in the communications that we'll send to you. And this committee is being chaired by the Attorney General of Edo State, Professor Yinka Omorogbe. I will expect that this committee will come up with the action plan no later than 6 weeks, and a draft law no later than 6 weeks from today. I really appreciate that if by the 29th of September we have a draft law and an action plan with a work plan, which will, swiftly begin to implement. We will make special budgetary provisions for the work of this committee and also for the work that needs to be done as a result of the outcome of the work of the committee's plan. I want to thank you most sincerely and to reiterate that for us as a government, we take the issue of human trafficking very, very seriously. It is not a European problem. It is not an EU problem. It's become our problem because we're losing hundreds and even thousands of our young men and women, and we cannot afford to anymore. As a government, we'll be irresponsible if we didn't do something drastic and serious about it. So I thank you, and I believe that given the caliber of people we have assembled, we should, within a very short time, make human trafficking in Edo State history. I want to thank you.